Are you intrigued by history and science that have contested explanations? Ever thought, I'm definitely smarter than my friends, but not as smart as the experts? Then join Craig and Dave as they explore the mysteries of who the why the and how the will they actually find the answers? Probably not, but they'll have a good time trying. Welcome to Craig and Dave's Sci-Piece.
Time for another episode of Craig and Dave's Sci-Piece. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. And thank you to our sponsor, W Energy Drinks.
Yep.
Go check them out. They're great, pretty much healthy options in terms of energy drinks.
For an energy drink. And,
right?
they taste good.
Yeah, they do. They're fantastic.
As opposed to some of those other ones. That
Tastes like yuck.
They taste like medicine.
Yeah.
and that you got from the bottom of a trash bag.
Like, you know, it starts to get like all gummy, the medicine. Like, yeah, you're just gonna like hard spoon it out. Yeah, no, not W.
Not W. No, this stuff it tastes good. It's like you're making a fruit drink when you were a kid. You know, you put the powder in the water, you mix it up. Yeah, exactly. It's just like that, and but with good flavors, and it gives you a boost.
Yeah, it's like Crystal Light, but better.
Yeah.
The best part is though, if you go and check them out. Use our promo code Sci-Piece and get 10% off your order.
10% off.
Tell your friends; they'll get 10%.
Yep, and it helps us. It helps helps the show, it helps us out, and it helps them.
Yeah,
and everybody's happy.
It helps your significant other have the energy to stay up and listen to you talk about what we talked about on the show.
Yep.
But, did I say that right? I think I said that right.
I think so.
Yeah, my wife won't listen, but
no,
that's a whole other topic. Check out our other show for that conversation.
Yep. But we got a good one this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We got
we went to Japan.
We're going to Japan.
To Japan to talk about the Yonaguni Monument.
Yeah.
I almost messed up monument.
Yep. Which is it's an underground structure,
underwater
structure.
Yep.
That's estimated to be about 10,000 years old.
Yep. It's 165 feet long and it's like 60 something feet tall. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Totally submerged.
And it's all geometrically shaped, carved angles, stairways.
Yeah.
Like
channels. Yeah, straight. Yeah. It's anybody would look at pictures and be like, "Ooh, I wonder who made that."
Yeah, exactly.
No one's looking at this and be like, "I can't believe the water did that.
I can't believe erosion made these perfect angles and cuts."
This is the only place in the world where it happened.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Because you have certain elements of academia that will claim it's erosion.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying it's erosion. And they have some argue. They obviously.
I'm sure there was some erosion. Something that's that old. Let's assume. Let's say it's 10,000 years old.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been some level of erosion.
Yeah.
You can measure erosion on anything.
Yes, but it's perfect. It's geometrically shaped. It's this.
Would you expect anything else from Japan?
Everywhere.
Except perfection?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course it's perfect.
Exactly. And then they claim there's no loose stone around, and it's like whether they're talking about like, because the stone that they chiseled off, because all the monuments that ancients had.
Yeah, they just left a pile of rocks around the
left
bottom.
All the debris around it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's every statue ever in the world. They just left everything chiseled off around it.
Yeah, like they were electricians.
Like, I wish I could see the rest of that, but all the rocks are piled up on the bottom.
They just drop their trash right there on the ground and walk away. But
It's so stupid.
It's crazy.
That's a stupid argument.
Yeah.
Not one thing in the history of civilization has ever been carved and all the carvings
left on the ground.
Never.
Exactly. Never.
No.
Stupid. But so they have that argument, but they do. I mean, sandstone does erode in weird ways and stuff like that. So, but this whole structure has all these crazy angles.
It has all the things.
It has all
this
things,
erosion.
All
and
the things.
There's nothing else around it geographically that has the same type of erosion.
Yes.
Like this was the only thing in the South Japanese Sea that eroded this way.
Yes. And
No, that didn't
Japan
happen.
also has, they have like myths of lost cities, lost continents, almost like in Atlantis.
Right.
And it's just
Nope.
okay.
Nope.
I know where you were going with that one.
You do.
But they have they have their own myths of
Cities
places
that were
like
swallowed by the ocean.
Swallowed by the ocean.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Of course it did.
And this
What happened 10,000 years ago?
Yeah. And this is a practical people. They don't
do things just for funsies.
just for funsies. Yeah.
No, that's not the Japanese.
No.
They're not known for their whimsy.
No. These are people that were building things with wood with no nails, and they were like, "Oh, an 8.5 earthquake, no problem.
Yeah.
It'll be fine."
Yeah.
They were detecting earthquakes. They had
you
an
imagine?
earthquake detector.
What was his name?
No, they did. They had this. It was in the Emperor's Palace, and it had dragons.
I've heard
it was like it had all the points of the compass, and there were these dragon heads. And when there was an earthquake, a marble would fall out.
Yep.
From the direction that the earthquake came from.
So
the emperor would know, okay, there's been an earthquake, and it would have to be a pretty big one, you know what I mean?
Right.
To do that. And they would say, okay, and they would send scouts, okay, go see what happens, see if they need help,
Yeah.
or if we can take their stuff, whatever. But
marble falls out, the emperor's like, ooh, we just acquired another village.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I mean. These people were doing incredible things. They still do.
Yep.
But I mean, like
Everything was done with purpose.
with purpose
Everything.
and precision.
Their culture is still that way.
Yes.
Still that way. That's just how. That's the culture.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to believe, one, that this underwater formation occurred naturally.
Yeah.
It probably started out as a natural rock outcropping.
Yeah.
That was carved and formed for a purpose.
For a purpose, exactly.
And then 10,000 years ago, the sea levels rose a couple hundred feet, and there it goes.
was abandoned. You know.
You find we were just talking about this a little while ago. There are cities around the coast of India. Same thing. Like we've talked about like the beautiful carvings, and we talked about Kailasa Temple not that long ago.
Yep.
Stuff like that underwater.
Underwater, yeah.
Under 30 feet of water. It's not that far off the coast, but that's because
and then
the sea levels rose. And you can't stop that.
You can't. And there's stuff that's even deeper,
Right.
Too. Like there's a man-made village or whatever you call it, off the coast of Cuba that they just recently found. It's in 200 feet of water.
That's wild.
So what happened? Where did it go? You know what I mean? And so that just, to me, that just says Cuba was probably part of the mainland Americas at one point.
It is in the Gulf of America.
Yeah, huh?
It is in the Gulf of America,
Yes,
so it makes sense.
But it was probably attached to one point.
Yep.
It was obviously way bigger.
Yeah.
You look at original shorelines.
I think Cuba's already a lot bigger than most people think.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It is huge. Yeah, exactly.
It's not big enough to invade the U.S., but that's a whole different show.
Yeah.
But to me, this just looking at it with an untrained geological eye, just normal, like
normal, yeah.
As a normal person, like that looks man-made. It's off the coast of Japan. it was probably man-made for a reason, and when the sea levels rose, they lost it.
Yeah, exactly.
That to me, that's the most logical explanation than trying to convince people that it was some kind of erosion.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
This is a civilization that has 1,000-year-old structures that they use.
Right, right. They built to last.
They still use them. They still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's, their biggest threat was fire.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? The earthquakes weren't knocking down these gigantic buildings they built. They built them to withstand this stuff.
Right.
You know, or volcano eruptions. They do have that big giant one.
Yeah,
But
but they're on an island, so they're relatively. I mean, it's a large island, but they're isolated.
Yeah, it's massive.
They have finite resources, so if you lose a lot of that to fires or volcanic eruptions, your civilization could get decimated.
Yeah, exactly.
So they did everything with purpose and had a reason to do it.
Yeah, and it's like they were obviously they have a lot of pride in their culture that's pretty much stayed the same. I mean, it's moved on with time, obviously,
Right.
but for centuries, you know what I mean, and thousands of years, they pretty much had the same belief system, the same pride in culture
Yeah.
that they have today.
They didn't change. They didn't have to change. That's just everything was great.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people.
And then the Portuguese showed up and ruined it.
Yep. Right. They did the same thing. Fall River.
Yeah.
But no, it's just it's an incredible culture. I've always had an interest in their culture.
Yeah.
You know,
Because everything is so like deliberate and like refined. It's like there's no wasted effort or movements or anything, whether it's intellectual or physical. Like everything is done for a reason. It's efficient, and it respects the culture before the individual. And it's that's how they've lived for thousands of years.
Very respectful to nature. Like they built things. Everything had gardens and maintained the nature around it.
Yep.
You know, these buildings that they used to build and all this stuff. But I don't know. It's just it blows my mind. For thousands of years, this place existed, and they were all like. They didn't build a lot of stone structure. I mean, there are some massive temples that are stone.
There are, yeah.
But was that a thing? Did they just switch over to that after
all the earthquakes?
After all the earthquakes,
Just kept knocking their rocks over, like.
Yeah, it's getting fractured because of the earthquake. These things are cracking. You can't live in it anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what? We're gonna build wood, and they created Japanese joinery.
I was just gonna say, I've never heard of a Japanese mason.
Yeah, because they build things out of wood like nobody in the world.
They're
can
like
build things.
The joinery is like puzzles that once you fit them together, they do not.
Not come apart. No, you don't even need like nails. What are those things?
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of
that's
good sword making metal.
Right. But yeah, the how they evolved in that stuff. So to have this culture that has found this way to fit wood together and make it structurally sound, withstand earthquakes, could create what we're talking about.
Yeah.
With that precision, those hard angles. For what purpose? I don't know.
Who knows?
I wouldn't even begin to speculate. But what I can tell you is my gut, I'd look at them like, they made that.
They made it. When you look at it, that's the thing, is you say, okay, all right, it could be erosion. It could be natural formation. Then you look at it, you're like, what? No.
If you look at the totality of it, it's not, it can't be.
It's like, that's way too,
There's
so what are you telling me? The ocean is just as precise as the people in Japan? Is that what you're telling me?
The ocean's Japanese.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, that is more illogical than just looking at it and be like that was done by humans.
Yeah.
Like, it's counterintuitive to try to explain it away scientifically. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it takes away from, I think, yeah, like I said, you get those guys that look at, and it's tough to go and look at it. It's underwater, so you got to dive to it. So you're not going to get.
And it's not like calm oceans. Like the tides and stuff underneath that are wild.
Yeah.
So it's hard to dive on it and get some good
Not
looks.
every
Yeah.
geologist has got, like, I'm a scuba diver, I'm a rock climber.
Yeah, that's because there's only one Josh Gates. That's right. There's only one Josh Gates. He could do it.
Yeah, that's right. No, but I mean, it's so not everybody can go down and so they're looking at pictures and I mean the pictures are incredible because the water is crystal clear because they're not like throwing trash in the water over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean a little bit of radiation.
Yeah.
But
It's like chlorine.
Yeah, it's like chlorine.
It killed
it's
everything
fine.
else. Yeah. And they killed all the porpoises. They don't get in the pictures.
Yeah. But I don't know. I look at it. When I look at it, I'm like, that's made.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's some things that you look at and you're like, oh yeah, that's like we've talked about the Sphinx every once in a while. Like if you look at the bottom, I'm like, yeah, that's been eroded away.
Yeah.
Like that's like okay. When I look at this thing, it's not.
No.
It's not. That's not erosion.
A perfect 90-degree angle.
But multiple, like you have 90-degree angles, you've got squared off channels, you've got steps, you've got this, you've got not all that's going to happen in the same spot.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
If there was like one thing out by itself, another thing somewhere else, like okay, that seems a little more plausible.
Yeah.
But when you've got this whole giant structure, it's if there was no water, this would be what we see in the southwest of our country, like buttes and things.
Yeah.
That's what it would look like.
That's what it would look like.
But with carved sharp angles.
Yes.
You know, so like that's not erosion to me. It probably started out as a big giant rock that was worked down for some reason.
Carved into whatever. They were like, hey, this is a good spot for whatever. For
they may not have been able to finish it because the sea levels rose.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep.
But I can tell you what wasn't happening: erosion.
No.
That at least
I don't.
In my professional, non-professional opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I find that hard to fathom. That
Same.
The whole structure would be perfect like that.
Right.
If you had one or two angles. One area that looked like steps.
Yeah.
It's like, no, those are stairs. It doesn't
They're all
look
the
like
same.
steps. They're all the same. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I made steps in front of my house. They're all different.
Yeah.
And I tried.
And you tried. Erosion accidentally built precise steps.
No.
No.
It's just,
I don't believe it.
I don't either. It's one of those where if you have to spend more time trying to explain what it could have been, that's not what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what it was.
That's not what it was.
What's more likely that we were smarter longer ago than we thought, and we did this stuff? Yeah.
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 Definitely.
That's my thought. On the Yonaguni. It is fascinating to me because some guy just stumbled upon it. He was just scuba diving. He's like, "The hell's this?
What is this?" Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh my God, somebody made this.
Yeah, look how the water eroded this rock.
And this is another civilization that's been around for thousands of years, that kept meticulous records, built incredible structures, very much knew astronomy and did all this stuff just like other parts of the world. Even though they blocked themselves out, they're like, you can't come here.
Yeah,
Get out.
we don't want you to ruin it.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin it. Exactly. But yeah,
that's my opinion. Totally man-made.
Agree.
Something that it's going to take a long time to figure out what it was. But I'm confident it's a man-made structure.
I tend to agree.
Man-influenced structure. It's rock.
Yeah.
We didn't make the rock. But we made the shapes into the rock.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
Exactly.
I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much it on that one. That's I mean,
it's fascinating, but we don't need to keep going.
We can't go. Yeah,
there's only so much we can do.
Yeah, you can't argue with it so much, especially with just two guys that aren't geologists or archaeologists.
Right.
But we know they're lying.
That's right. So thank you for joining us for another episode of our Sci-Piece. Check us out. Give us your opinions. Send us an email at cdscipiece@gmail.com. Check us out on social media. You can see us on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Yep.
We love getting people to jump on and check out the episodes. Thank you again to our sponsor, Dubby Energy Drinks.
Yep.
Check them out. Promo code Sci-Piece. And let's see what we're talking about next episode. We're going to have to refill this.
Yeah.
We need some more fan mail. Give us some suggestions.
Yes. Send in a suggestion. Email us a suggestion.
Oh, there was two. No, it's one. All right. Oh, this is like, the Darren Kuyu Underground City.
Oh,
this is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Ooh. All right, so check us out next time while we figure out how to spell Darren Kuyu Underground City. All right, see you next time.
See ya.